Hey, that's not rubbish.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lexi. I'm a big upcycle groupie. We're here, episode number 8, and it's my first episode in person. I'm here in Detroit, and I'm here with Raya.
Hey guys, I'm excited to be here.
Oh, it's so nice. I'm in her studio apartment.
Yeah,
She works here. She sleeps here. It's so like sunlit. There's so many plants around. I love it. It's so nice here.
thank you.
Yeah, you've done a nice job, but
I try. The less is more in my book over here.
and the green. I love the green.
Yeah, the plants give good luck.
It does. It does. And with like the plants and like the upcycled clothes everywhere, it's just all so on brand.
Yeah.
It all just like makes sense.
Yeah.
But okay, so we'll talk about Raya's brand and her studio, and we'll get a little bit into kind of higher end brands, the branding secrets behind, creating a luxury brand and why you should buy a Birkin because it's better for the environment, but also not really. But before that, we'll get into some good news. Again, this is from Euronews.green. Shout out for the information. But this one's also about Switzerland again. We're in Geneva, and apparently Geneva, they are giving out free food. They have community pantries that they're using to prevent food waste.
Awesome.
Yeah, and it's really cool. It's like a nonprofit that has like refrigerators on the street, so people can just like put food there, take food there that they think would go bad or that people could use.
Yeah, Detroit Community Fridge does that too.
Oh, no,
Yeah, same thing.
Win-win for America. I'm always saying like Europe's so ahead of the game. Like, Detroit's actually really sustainable, and like I feel like there's like a big upcycle community here. So we'll talk about that too.
Yeah, there is a huge upcycle community for sure.
So shout out Geneva. This project launched about a year ago with just one fridge, and that one fridge helped save around 3 metric tons of food from going to waste just last year. So that's a big impact, and it's just going to keep getting better and better. So I'm excited. Maybe we'll see some other countries do that, and then maybe Detroit will have just more and more every day.
Yeah, Detroit's on the up and up right now.
We are. Yeah, talk about that. Talk about like the Detroit scene.
The Detroit scene's crazy. Honestly, like I've been telling everyone from like 5 years ago when I lived in New York, I was like, Detroit's the new New York, Detroit's the new New York. Like every time I went home, I was like, because we grew up here. Right. So, I mean, in the burbs, but like, remember when our parents were like, never go to Detroit.
Oh my God, yeah, bad. It's so dangerous. It was the murder capital for a while,
Yeah.
So I'll give it to them. But you're right, like when I'm here, I don't feel scared at all. Like it feels like home.
Yeah, there's other parts that you're like, okay, maybe you shouldn't go. Like obviously, like in any city, that's how it is.
Yeah.
But I just remember like being in New York, like in 2015, 2016, and like I would see signs that said like move to Detroit, and I was like, are they talking to me? Like, should I go back home?
Yeah.
So like I just felt like every time I would come home, it was like always changing, and there was like new places to go eat and like to go party at. And obviously we have a huge like house techno scene and like
we were just talking about that like a few episodes ago, festival wear, and I actually heard that Detroit is really known for their like rave scene.
Oh, it's like back then too, like in like 2011 and stuff. Like it was like every weekend. If you knew where the party was at, everybody was there, and it was so like underground. Like they would take a old discount tire store and make it. It was called Tires back then.
Oh, that's really cute.
And like really cool like after hours and stuff.
I'm thinking of the Russell Industrial Center too. That space that's like a converted like old factory.
They still have like a lot of artists like live there, but they still have a lot of parties. It's just like not as often as that used to be, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I feel like Detroit, like, there's so much culture here, and I feel like if you know the history of Detroit, like with the gentrification and all that,
yeah,
like Detroit was like the city to be in. Like it was a super cool city back in the day, and then it kind of lost its spice a little bit. So there are a lot of like rundown cities or houses, and you'll see a lot of that. But it's also really cool to see how like we've upcycled the city a little bit. Like we turned kind of like the rubbish into something really nice that we can still utilize as a city. We've put it into our culture. So maybe that's why I love Detroit so much.
Yeah. Well, it's like an empty playground.
I was gonna say Detroit is my playground, and it is empty playground.
Yeah, it's a canvas for artists especially. So I feel like a lot of people who want to create and like don't have the space or the avenue, they can come here. Like obviously New York is like really expensive. LA is super expensive. Miami's, you know, even like probably the most moving like city right now. So like for artists, especially like creators and just in any type of field, like Detroit's the place to be.
You can be a part of helping restore Detroit.
Yeah.
You know, the Heidelberg Project is like one of my favorite places. I just drove by it the other day because every time I'm in Detroit, I need to see it. But
That's cool.
yeah, it's a big like junk art.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool. They have like just like a stack of like fluffed animals on like a boat and like a stack of like shopping carts, and they have a house that's just like rainbow polka dots, and it's really cool. If you're ever vacationing in Detroit, you should.
Yeah, I actually haven't been yet.
Yeah. Oh my God, you have to.
Yeah, I have to go see it.
No, yeah, I think we got to reverse the narrative.
I think we are. I mean, people are watching us in every like avenue, like music, fashion, food. Our night scene has always been cool. Our music scene's always been like, you know, a lot of genres came out of here, like punk. You know, back in the day, like we have a lot of like sweet
Kid Rock's from here.
Yeah.
Big Sean.
Eminem. We have Dej Loaf, Cash Doll. Like we have some women rappers repping us now.
We got Band Gang,
Yeah. So, and we got like Sada Baby and all the Babyface Ray. Like I was just in his music video, literally.
No, you weren't. No, you weren't. Like your clothes or you?
No, we were like, they asked like all the Detroit designers to like show up, and like we were like all cameoed, like sitting in the audience, and they pretended there was like a fashion show, and it was all his vision. It was really cool, black and white, and like they just wanted us to sit in the audience, and everyone had like screen time. That's like, yeah, I'll show you. It was for his new single. It's called Donda Bag.
Oh my God, we have to link it in the description.
Yeah.
Get a little taste of Detroit.
1 million views on YouTube already. So.
That's a 313 magic.
Right, 313 magic. I like that.
No, what is it like Detroit versus everybody?
Hell yeah.
Detroit bad boys. We got a lot going on. Yeah. We just gotta get hip to it.
Come through, come to the city.
Come through. Yeah. Detroit's the best. I love Detroit. Gotta get yourself a coney dog. Stop in a Mexican town.
Yeah.
All that. Stop into Raya's studio.
Totally.
It's amazing here. Raya the upcycle designer, working on Raya the brand, being Raya in her studio.
On the Raya Wi-Fi.
I was like, are you Neckier 147? She's like, no, I'm Raya.
Yeah. I'm like, it's everything I'm like, yeah, I'm going to name it the Raya, blah, blah, blah. My friend's like, all right, are you going to name every piece in your collection Raya? And I was like, I don't know what else to name it.
Yeah. So funny. That's so funny. I mean, Raya's a really pretty name, and I love 4-letter names. And
yeah.
It does have like a very sleek, sophisticated, upscale vibe to it. So I feel like it goes really well with your branding.
Yeah.
Wait, so like, what's it like having a studio?
It's like the best like feeling in the world.
Yeah, what does it feel like?
It feels amazing to just like, I honestly like wake up every day, just get to work. So it's cool. Like you know, sometimes I can't separate the work from the living, which is why there's like no couches here, obviously. And like, there's just bean bags. Most people that come here like notice that right away. They're like, there's no TV, there's no this. And I was like, yeah, like to be influenced.
You don't need it.
Yeah.
No, you're happy.
Yeah. Like, I just don't think we need the like constant, you know, stimulation.
Yeah, look at this, buy me, buy that. Yeah.
Yeah. We need to go inward. And like, if you're an artist or even not, like if you're like working a day job or whatever, you know, a lot of our energy is like expelled into the world. So it's just good to like not have those distractions around you. Because if I had a TV, I every day turning it on, but like I just get annoyed of it. Like I don't want to hear so much noise or see so many visuals and pictures. Like I have Instagram, I have TikTok, like
Oh my God,
What
it's the
else
same
do I need?
faces too.
Yeah.
It's the same people I'm seeing every day. Like I see Kim Kardashian's face more than my mom's.
that's yeah, I actually unfollowed every celebrity
I did that once.
because I don't want to see people I don't know. I just want to like connect with my community. Like those are the people buying from me, hanging out with me.
That know me.
Yeah, know me. Like I don't know her. She's never gonna like, you know, maybe one day I would love to like see her in my pieces.
Yeah, until then.
I'm down, and then maybe we'll follow each other or something. But other than that,
Until she follows me.
yeah,
Following.
her. Yeah, exactly.
No, I like that. No, I like that. I mean, also like your studio's like your own little place. Like it's all about you. Like what do you usually got going on? Like music or
Yeah, I'm always playing like chill house music. Like if you ever come in here, it's like tropical, like I'm on the beach in Ibiza. Like that's how I want to feel. I bring the beach to me, and that's usually when I get the most like art done is like just music. The windows open, even if it's like 90 degrees out. I just like the breeze to come in and out and like feel like I'm like one with everybody. In the summer, in the winter, it's like when I do my best work.
Oh my God, I was gonna say like the 10 days in Michigan where it's 90 degrees.
I know. I'm like, this is not a good time for me to create. It's just like very busy and like a lot of people are doing stuff and like the energy's like, it's good, it's vibrant, but it's not good for as a creative. I'm just more of like, if everyone's like relaxed and I'm sensitive to the energy.
And like you also want to be outside. But, like,
Yeah.
no, it's nice to like hunker down and just work.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, that's good. I mean, like what makes a studio a studio?
I would say, honestly, like all your tools, right? So if you're a painter, you would have paintbrushes and paint, canvases. Like for me, I have 4 different sewing machines. I have 2, 3 tables just for that. My racks to hang out my clothes because that's what where my art, like if you went to a gallery, it would be on the walls and stuff.
Absolutely, one day.
Yeah, exactly. And then just like plants, because you need like real life. Just you know, it's a very industrial feeling in here, so the plants make it feel homey. Like at least that's what I've like been told, like from my friends and stuff.
That's true.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah. I think that's the thing about plants is that like I think like we subconsciously know they give us life, so we like them. Like I think it's just like a subconscious natural agreement between humans.
Totally. It's just good fortune. It's good at like plants, you know, symbolize abundance, and if you're into like Feng Shui and stuff, like
Oh my God.
all that is real.
Feng Shui, right? Talk about Feng Shui. Isn't that like the way you lay things out?
Yeah, just like the way it's supposed to flow. You know, like there shouldn't be like a mirror in your bedroom because then you're going to just have like a relationship with yourself. So like your mirror is supposed to reflect what you want that's more abundant. So like they would say reflect your kitchen table so it can attract more people and more food and like it's just like really old Chinese philosophy and like, you know.
You're such like a spiritual Zen person. Like you're definitely like the chillest. Like even just like talking to you, I'm like,
I love that. It took a long time to get here. Definitely. Like
yeah, I'm gonna listen to this. Just listen to you talk. I'm stressed out like a meditation.
Meditation helps. Self-help books help. You know, my early 20s, that's all I was doing was like reading self-help books because like, you know, overcome like all your insecurities or like you're trying to figure out your life around that age. It's a hard age. It's not easy where you're at. You know, I'm not gonna lie.
Early 20s are rough. You're just like figuring it out. You have to pretend like you know what you're doing, but you are drowning.
Yeah.
And you're also like nowadays, like you're just watching what everyone else is doing. So it's like competitive.
Yeah.
You don't want to compare yourself to other people, but it's like impossible not.
We're human.
We're human.
I still do, you know, like, oh, like I should be already like at this stage in my business, why am I not here? And I'm always like having that self battle and that negative self-talk, but really like comparison is the thief of joy, you know? And it's like we're all on our own path. Like we're all in our own lane. There's enough for everyone. You have to have that mindset because if you don't, then you're like in that scarcity mindset, and so it's only gonna like attract scarcity and like make you feel like you're in lack. So you attract what you feel. So the more you feel like abundant and you feel like, okay, like we all are on our own path. Like everyone has their moment. Some people get married. Some people have like a sick career. Some people get bumped up. Like we all have our moment in life.
Yeah.
And like we all go through hard times. Like everyone has problems. Like nobody's perfect, and just like it's okay, you know, like to take your time.
Yeah.
I think for me, I always wanted to rush and get there, and always had ambition, like as a young person. So it was always like I was moving fast, but I wasn't going anywhere.
I know what you mean.
You know?
It's because you're also like trying to like you're overthinking your next step so much that you don't make one. I think that was like my biggest thing this whole year was I was like, okay, like what do I want to do? What do I want to do? Like I'm so scared to mess it up. Like I don't want to waste time. Like I'm in my early 20s, but I just wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
And then actually like the podcast, this was like, okay, like if I were to die tomorrow, like what's one thing that I would have like wanted to do? And this is where we are now.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's so true.
It's just like making decisions, and then just like, even if like, especially when you're young, you can mess up. You know, maybe when you have a family and all this stuff, you might not take as much risk. But when you're young, like try everything.
Try everything.
Fail, you're gonna like lose. We're all gonna take L's.
Yeah, no, it's inevitable.
You know?
It's inevitable.
But it's okay. Like if you're afraid to take L's or whatever, like, you know, that's just like your fear of being imperfect.
Yeah.
And that's not the way you should live life. Because like even like people tell me like, oh, like you're putting your work out there all the time and like you're not afraid. It's like, yeah, not everyone's gonna love what I do. Not everyone's gonna be attracted to my art, but
Trial and error.
if I don't put it out there, then, you know, no one's gonna see it.
Right. That's worse than
Not doing
It's
it.
better than nothing. And at the end of the day, like it's about you and what you want to do. If you
Right.
died tomorrow and you hadn't done that, like you'd probably
Of being regret.
you'd be pissed. I'd be mad too, Raya. You're so cool.
I feel you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you've created something really nice here. Like even just seeing it in person, like it all just kind of like all the stars are aligning.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I'm happy for you.
Oh, thanks. I'm happy for you too. I'm
Thanks.
excited to be here.
Yeah, so I mean, like, how did this begin? Like, walk us through how you started. What's the story behind Raya the brand?
So honestly, I started the business like as a vintage business. I was just reselling, and then I would also like take indie designers, like people like me who are like small, and I would just like, you know, I was selling designers in New York and LA that I really liked that weren't really popular or anything, but just like, you know, I would wear their clothes and just wanted to introduce a new way of shopping.
Give them a platform.
Yeah, it wasn't like always like we have to have the newest like Gucci, Prada, or like, you know, we shouldn't. I never liked fast fashion.
Yeah.
It's cheap. It's, you know, not well made. Yeah, and it's like copying like designers. Like you're copying like people's art for less, and like obviously it's cheap, so it's easy to like get. You don't really think about it. Like, you know, I've also like purchased stuff in the past, but I just wanted to like introduce that to like Michigan because I lived in New York. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, I'm going to come back. I'm going to like introduce a new way of shopping. And like, so I kind of started that in 2020.
Okay.
And then I quit my like job at Saks. I was working there like full time as like a sales associate.
That's cool.
And I was like, there's no way like I can do this forever. Like I gotta like have a plan. And, you know, I just started selling clothes and like popping up in Detroit and like kind of building my name through selling other people's like magic.
Yeah.
And then I think like up until 2021, like early 2022, like last year, I was like, you know, this is not my calling. Like I'm meant to do something more. And I just got to a breaking point, honestly, that I was like, I always wanted to design. Like I always like sewed here and there.
Yeah.
So,
You want to do your own thing.
yeah. I just like, I had the capacity to do it, and it was like I was only fighting myself.
Yeah.
And then like at the end of the day, like you get so drained from doing this and doing it for everyone else that you're just like you know, you can't pour from an empty cup.
No, you can't do that. It's impossible.
Yeah. So that's kind of just how it started, like, but through all of that, it was like amazing for me to like start my business like and develop like a customer base and like a fan base through styling and like, you know, helping other people get their vision across. But then in the meantime, it was like, damn, I have my own vision. Like I need to.
Exactly. You were seeing what you liked, what you didn't like, and what you were also like kind of seeing what you weren't seeing. And you wanted to make that yourself. Yeah, that's nice. No, I mean, that makes sense. But you obviously have some signatures. You're wearing one right now.
Yeah.
You have like, well, for one, you have the Nirvana t-shirt dress hanging right behind you, which is my favorite. So it's so amazing to see it in person. But yeah, you have two like signature styles that like I kind of credit you for creating. One is like the leather strap around the chest through the shoulder, like it's like almost like half a scarf almost. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, what's the inspiration behind that one?
So obviously, I'm like a huge leather, like I would say like that's one of my mediums.
Genola.
Yeah, I used to work there.
I knew it.
I used to work there in Brooklyn, in Dumbo. They don't have that location anymore,
okay,
but
okay.
No, my love for leather, like I think since like shopping vintage, it was just like, this is good quality, it's 100% genuine, like leather, like it's good for your skin, it protects you from the cold, like it's just a lot of good things. Like if you notice, like all my materials are 100% like natural fibers. So like cotton, leather, denim, because vintage denim is 100% cotton, like not the stuff they make now. Everything has like 2% spandex in it. So this just was like, I was upcycling in the beginning, and I was just taking apart like old jackets and whatever. I'm at night like just hanging out talking to my cousin, and I'm like putting like shapes around my like body and stuff, and I'm like, oh,
whoa, I kind of just did something.
Pieces of leather, this is cool. And then it was just kind of like and then my friend named it the Vendetta, and I was like,
I was gonna say, is it called the Raya?
No, it's called the Vendetta. It's totally my bestseller. It could be made in any color, leather color.
I seen the blue one, the really vibrant blue one. That's amazing. Yeah. I mean, where do you get all your leather? Is leather kind of hard to source?
Honestly, like, so I source a lot through Fab Scrap. It's like a nonprofit organization that takes in like textiles and fabric from other brands and stuff that are not using it but don't want it to end in a landfill. So Fab Scrap will take it in, and like anyone can make an appointment and call them. And like me as a brand, I was like, well, how do I source dead stock materials? And if you are listening right now, like Fab Scrap is the place to go. It's like there's a warehouse in New York and Philly. But also my friend Billy, shout out Billy Purdy, he gave me like literally almost 3-4 boxes of dead stock leather. He's like, dude, I used to make bracelets and stuff. I'm not obviously doing that anymore. And here's like a machine. He gave me my industrial sewing machine in the back for free and a bunch of leather. So I literally still have like,
that's amazing.
just free material to work with, honestly.
Dude, shout out Billy. Your friends will always, like, if you just get the word out that you're, like, scrapping, like, people they send you so much stuff.
They do.
They do. Like, they're just waiting for you to start upcycling, so you should do it.
I know.
And then, okay, so you have the Vendetta. Very cool. And then you have the T-skirt, which
my personal fave. I'm happy you brought it up.
Of course. This would be pointless without the T-skirt.
T-skirt actually started because I literally had a bunch of, before when I was selling vintage, the reason why my first collection was all denim was because I had a bunch of vintage denim.
What you have, yeah.
So I was like, cool, like I'm just gonna rip these apart and start working with this. But the T-skirt came with like, I had a Boston Strong t-shirt that like I thrifted and I was gonna resell, and I was like, this is a sick color, like I just wanted to make sure I was using every single thing. Like I'm like so like at least minimal waste as possible. So I took apart this t-shirt and I just started wrapping it around my body, and like next thing you know, 2 months later, like Carucci's wearing it on the show, like Upcycle Nation.
Hello.
And I was like, oh, like I didn't even think it was like that cool. I was like, oh.
Are you kidding me? The fact that you even called like the t-shirt, the T-skirt, like it just sounds so good. I don't know why I've never heard it before.
I know. I was like, oh, that's what it is. Like it's exactly what it sounds like. So, but then that's when I was like, dude, I got to make more of these, and like it just became honestly a staple for sure.
No, I need one.
Yeah. I wish I had some here. I sent a lot of them out to this like pop-up in New York.
Oh, that's cool though.
It's actually one of my more complicated pieces. It's all about like, I have a video on my Instagram about like how I made it, and it's just like literally piece by piece wrapping it around. It's just like figuring out where the graphics will lay on the body and like why it looks good on this side and that side, and it's like very articulate actually.
You know, I'll have to link the video too.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
It's a cool process video. Steven helped me out with that. Shout out Steven Zacks.
Shout out Billy, shout out Steve.
Yeah, all my homies.
That's the whole bubble.
Yeah.
It's cool to have like recognizable like signature pieces, because I say like this is like the kind of like the foundation to any brand. Like it's like your it factor, and that's what I like to call it when I'm doing my freelance. Is like I like to be like the it factor enhancer. But okay, let's get into branding. Like, is Raya the brand, I feel like, is definitely, you've branded yourself, I guess, accurately, successfully, if you made me feel like you're an upscale brand. So I guess like what's like the secret behind like luxury branding? Like what makes designer?
It's a good question.
Yeah, because I feel like there's like you can like market yourself that way, or you can like actually be like someone that like takes more time and effort into it. So I mean, like there's a lot of different like conspiracy theories.
Yeah. I think what makes it luxury, at least for me, is like the fabrics, just like making sure they're like very like elegant and, you know, high quality in terms of like, I only work with like natural fibers because that's good for your skin. So I'm thinking about how it feels on your skin, like how you're gonna like move around. Cause I'm like, okay, I notice in my wardrobe, I only wear denim, leather, and cotton. And there's little I go out of that, and like a lot of fast fashion is made with polyester and like lycra and all these like man-made synthetic materials. So I think if you just take all those out and you focus on like what we were always supposed to wear and like what they've worn for years, like centuries, then I think that's part of it. But I just also think it's like how you design.
Yeah, and you know, materials in it, like taking your time with it, caring and thinking about the person and the concept behind it, making it practical, but also like an art form. I feel like because designer is like slow fashion. You're right, like it is like the opposite of fast fashion. So
it is, and I feel like we have a pressure, like designers especially right now have pressure to like always pump out, always. And I feel like I sometimes was getting like sucked into that with like showing up every week and dropping new pieces and stuff like that. So now I'm gonna like shift gears a little bit, and like, you know, you'll see in the next season or so like that I'm just gonna like slow it down even more and develop like more thoughtful collections. And you know, like everything I make is like bespoke. Like if you're one of my clients, like I'm getting your measurements. I'm like, you're gonna come into my studio, we're gonna do a fitting. Like,
I'd love to go into the studio.
Yeah, it's an in-person experience, and I just think that's like what a lot of people like. You either love that or you don't. Like some people don't want to think about it too much, just want to buy online, whatever. But some people like me who like really love fashion. I used to shop with people that did what I did. Like I shopped with my Japanese designer in New York, and you know, I would go there every week, and like we would make sure it fit on me, and like I would have so much fun with her, and it was so personal, and like I just think that experience is it was so good for me, like when I was younger and I needed like that connection because I was an artist and I didn't really know it at the time, that like now it's like, you know, I just want to make sure that if I'm, you know, asking for that price point, then I'm giving you that same experience and the same thought.
That's fair. Yeah. I guess like is all like upcycling designer then? Like if like there's a designer behind it and it's like curated in slow fashion then, and the materials are like selected pretty carefully given what we need them to do. I feel like upcycling is designer.
Oh, totally. Yeah. It just depends how you market it, you know?
Yeah.
Like some people want to be a more like, you know, affordable brand, and that's cool, and you can sell 1 million pieces and make the same amount of money, but you can also take your time and sell a few pieces and make just the same amount of money. So there's no difference in like the financial status that you can get from it. It can you can be successful in both avenues.
No, that's true. And I guess like for the branding parts of it, like if someone wanted to create a more like upscale, like luxury brand, like what should they be thinking about in terms of like visual communication? Like how should they market themselves?
Honestly, it has to do with your aesthetic, you know? Like it has to be clean, concise, simple. Like even my most simplest designs where I'm thinking like, oh, whatever, like it's not a big deal, but like those are the ones people love because it's so simple. It's like it's a no-brainer. They can just take it up and like they'll wear it every day. So it's like, you know, do you want to be quiet fashion and just like be the one that like it's expensive and no one really knows about it? Or do you want to be loud and graphic and, you know, crazy colors and stuff like that? There's, you know, so.
No, that's true. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different ways to play within like the upscale world too. Like you can be like Betsy Johnson, where she's like loud and crazy,
Yeah.
or like I guess.
But she's still doing it in a tasteful way.
Yeah, definitely. Like, she's
Yeah.
been able to mark like you know Betsy Johnson is like a designer. Like
Yeah, she has her own like vision and like, you know, her own quirkiness to it.
like her brand.
Yeah. You know, thankfully I've always had a good team around me where like I only work with people that can like bring out a very clean, minimal vision because my clothes already speak very loudly. So it's like if the person I'm working with, like my photographers and my videographers, like I, you know, try to keep it as simple as I can so that the clothes will speak through it.
Right.
So if you're like thinking about how to market it in that way, it's just like, you know, work with the right people, make it as simple as you can and make it like clean so that people know what they're looking at.
Yeah, that's a the visual communication part is the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like don't get too caught up in like adding spice to it and like making it
Exactly.
loud unless you want it to feel loud. And like, yeah, it's all about what you want it to feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah, radiate the feeling you want it to feel, not just like, oh, like these colors are pretty, like I really like this color, like, oh, like I really like this font. Like think like what is the font saying? What is that color saying? What is this texture saying? What is this model saying? Like all those things individually, conceptually. I think
Yeah.
that was good. I feel like we described it.
Okay, cool. I think someone asked me that my other interview, someone asked me the same question about what makes it luxury, and I think it's just, yeah, I said it's like all made to order.
Yeah.
Also, so like you're not gonna see 10 of the same thing all the time. Like the T-skirts, for example, they're one of one. Like that's the one T-shirt I had. I made it. Yeah. You're the only person to wear that skirt. I can make the same design. I just can't get that T-shirt again.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Is like exclusivity with designers because I mean.
Yeah.
This always surprises my friends a lot because I'm like the sustainable friend, like the one that's always thrifting. So like, they always think I'm like not that into fashion or like I don't care too much about like brands or like where things are coming from, which is true. But like I am very into that, like especially like with designers, like not only are they more sustainable, but I like the perspective of like taking time into it, conceptualizing, curating it, but also it as like an art form, artwork, and like the craftsmanship behind it.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's more like respectful, I think, than like thinking of myself as a consumer that needs to be like wearing what other people are wearing and like shopping a lot and buying things all the time.
I agree.
Yeah, I think the perspective or the ideology around clothing also is a big thing that separates designer from not, but I think we also got to be like asking ourselves more questions before we buy stuff. Like, how long are we going to own this? And
I agree.
How often are we going to wear it?
Totally.
Yeah.
1000%. That's it honestly comes from the consumer.
Yeah.
Like I can create and tell you what you want to wear and like what you should wear, what I think is cool. Cause like I have my own perspective on ready to wear and runway, but it comes from the consumer. Like, do you want to replace the same t-shirt 10 times a year?
You want it?
Or do you want to spend $150 to $200 and buy it once every 3-4 years?
Exactly.
A choice that the consumer, and we have to put it back on them too, because we all are consumers. We all consume every day food, music, media, whatever, clothes.
Yeah.
So it's just like, for me, it's like I want to minimize my decision. I don't want to make so many, like, we already have to like wake up and think about what we're going to eat, what we're going to wear, all this stuff. So if you can have less choices, but every single one in your closet means something to you and you can like take care of it for a long time, it's just like plants and like furniture.
Wait, I just had a light bulb moment. Because, you know, we were just talking about how, like, in your early 20s, like, you're so lost and, like, you just, like, don't know what you're doing and all this stuff. And it's, like, maybe if you're dressing how everyone else is dressing and you're, like, hopping on these new trends every other day, like, that's, like, a bit of an identity crisis, isn't it? Like, yeah, just, like, be yourself, know what you like, buy what you like.
Exactly. Cut the noise. Like, life is all about cutting the noise.
Yeah.
And, like, narrowing your focus and going inward as much as you can, because that's where, like, you can get in touch with yourself, your intuition, what your soul is trying to tell you to do. Like, we're all spiritual beings. Like, if you want to believe it or not, it's up to you. If you learn at a young age, and I think your generation honestly is way more conscious, to be honest. I think, like,
thank you. How would you convince, like, someone to start investing in more, like, long-term statement pieces, I guess, instead of, like, shopping all the time every day?
I just think, like, you know, take care of your skin, like, take care of your body, like, you'll feel better in a more expensive piece. And then you'll exuberate more, better energy, and then you'll attract that too. So, like, feel good in your clothes, and, like, because your clothes speak louder than anything else, right?
Yeah.
Like, when you walk into a room and you don't talk to anyone, people are kind of, whether we like it or not, we're human. We're going to look at your outfit. We're going to see, like, okay, this person's a little serious. They're wearing a suit. But then you got me, or you got someone else that's wearing, like, a cutout skirt and, like, you know, an edgy leather top, and then, you know, you can see them for who they are. So it is, like, about your clothes. Like, you know, you should care about what you're wearing.
I do think, like, what you wear is, like, a reflection of yourself, like, quite a bit. And I think, like, also, like, it kind of like what you were saying is that, like, you can feel more connected to yourself. Like, like, if you're, like, really taking the time to, like, curate a closet for yourself, like, things that you like that make you feel good and fit you well, things that were kind of, like, made for you, like, you're gonna feel like a rock star.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, if you just buy, like, made to order, like, custom pieces, like, from Upcycle, you're gonna feel like, I would feel like so famous. Like, like, it would start to get to my head, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like the experience I want to give people. Like, it's couture.
It is what it is.
I mean, you can't get couture every day.
Yeah.
You know?
No.
You can buy, like, Fashion Nova every day and it doesn't feel special. Does it feel special to you?
You know, I can say, like, I did shop fast fashion quite a bit. Like, I even have, like, a Jaded London, like, sticker on my laptop. Like, I did. I'm a converted fast fashioner.
Yes.
and I do feel a lot better. Like, I feel like I know myself more. Like, I feel like I don't know. I just don't really know how to describe it. Like, I just feel more connected to myself, like, my style. I'm having a lot more fun with it instead of just like, oh, she's wearing that, like, I should probably order one because it's like what everyone's wearing.
Yeah.
Like, that's just like not very fashion-esque to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't want to like come for anyone because, like, I do understand, like, the accessibility and also, like, the price point's huge. But I mean, thrifting and, like, shopping fast fashion, like, it's pretty, and like,
yeah, it's CMT. Yeah, totally.
and then I guess, like, when we work our way up, like an upcycle designer and, like, designer can also be, like, pretty same tier. Yeah, I think just, like, less is more too. Like, I feel like I travel quite a bit. Like, the last 2 years, like, I'll work at, like, a hostel and I'll, like, volunteer there for something. It's really cool. Yeah. But it's just like I only have a carry-on and, like, a backpack, and then I'm sharing a room with, like, 12 other people. And I just feel like I'm so much happier, like, when I'm doing that. Like, when all I am is just, like, a girl, like, with her backpack, like, the things in my backpack, like, having less things, 20 things, it just feels so much better than getting a pack, like an ASOS package, you know?
Totally.
Like, the feeling of that experience and everything that came with it, and just being more than what I'm wearing and what I have is just, it's amazing.
You are more than that.
Yeah, you are. And you got to think of yourself as much. And I mean, if you do value clothes, then value more than you have been, I guess.
Yeah. Just be more conscious about what you're buying, you know, just like how everyone should be conscious about what they're putting in their mouth and like, you know, what you're consuming, and even the media and the like, it all kind of shapes who you are.
Yeah.
And like the more you start to like get rid of things, like it's like the more happier and free you'll be.
Exactly.
We all just want to be free.
We want to be free. Yeah. I'm glad to hear. I'll just bring a carry-on. It's cheaper anyway.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I mean, designers, while they are more sustainable, they have been. I think it's more so just because it's more curated, and they used to do just about 2 to 3 collections a year. But I mean, like you said, they have kind of felt like they're competing with fast fashion a bit, and now they do like up to 8 seasons a year.
Yeah.
So that's a bit tricky. I feel bad.
It's a lot of work, like honestly, like fashion design is very hard, and I would have never have. I've been into fashion my whole life, and I didn't realize how hard it was until I started making clothes. Like, you know, people are legit engineering garments and making sure that you can walk and breathe in them and like take them off and to put them on. Like, there's a lot of mechanics that go into it, just like a sewing machine. There's a lot of like moving parts.
Yeah.
So when you like really start to like understand the artist perspective of it, because I feel like artists in general across any field don't get enough credit in this world,
100%.
then you'll like appreciate it more. And like, you know, it might change your mind like today or whenever. You might get that aha moment that, yeah, it's just like, it's just we're like dumbing it down. Our society has dumbed it down. And with that fast fashion being like AI working on it 24/7, it's like, yeah, a human being like me can't compete.
No, we can't.
You know, like I'm not going to even try, but I'll sell you these really beautiful clothes I made. And, you know, like I said, it's not for everyone. And artists have to be okay with that
Yeah,
too.
I
It's not
agree.
for everyone.
It's not for everyone. But oh my God, also this thing I heard about like a few years ago, like Burberry, I think was the reason I heard about it. Like, but like luxury brands will like burn all their
Prada
excess.
does that.
Dude, like Burberry did like
Company.
$30 million one year. Just to, like, so like it doesn't get like resold and it like
No.
devalues.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
Well, that's what it comes for me now. It comes down to manufacturing.
Yeah.
Do not produce so much.
Yeah.
Don't produce like millions of bags. Like you can produce 300-400 and be like, okay, only these are going out. Let's sell them out. Like, so it starts with like the companies too. Like you in the manufacturing plants, like they're giving them minimums and saying like we need to make this much, or you know, for us to our factory to produce it or whatever. It starts from like that part as well. Like it has to do with factories too, giving the designers like limit to make like. Even like, I don't know if you know the upcycler Nicole McLaughlin.
My goddess.
Yeah, she's so cool. But she started doing that because she went to like, she was working for Reebok or something, and she saw how much they were producing, and she was like, you guys are still producing this much? Like, why are you making so many shoes?
Yeah, it's so backwards because isn't that the whole point of like design? Like design is supposed to be exclusive.
Yeah, like
I love the made to order.
Yeah.
Structure so much better. Like don't make it until someone orders it.
I do that.
I love that you do that. Yeah.
Yeah,
And a lot of
there's-
upcyclers to just like to not waste the materials.
Yeah, and it's just like if you're serious about it and like you want the bag, or like even like for all these major designers, like if you want the, you know, Prada bag or stuff like that, like they can do a pre-order sale and just like only produce how much they think they're going to sell. All this mass production and this like burning because you don't want to like lose your you know, your status in the world or the matrix or whatever you want to call it.
Like, I don't know. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
Matrix. That's so funny. No, it does not. It does not make sense. And yeah, it's not very sustainable. And so, I mean, yeah, I mean, also like Chanel, Tom Ford, like in Mara Mara, like scored pretty low on this accountability report that I saw. I'll link it. It's by like Remake Our World.
Oh.
So yeah, I guess like high price doesn't mean long-term or ethical.
And if you buy like locally and you're putting money in someone else's pocket that you know, that's going to come back into the community. When you're putting it to these companies that you don't know, it's like, I'm not saying don't ever buy from them. Like I buy from other designers that are like, that I don't know or whatever, but I'm just saying like, if you know, I go to the local farmer's market every week because I can like, you know, give him money and then he's going to go give it to his family and his family's going to be able to like prosper off of it. Like it's just the little things like really do add up to the big things. And if we all, and it's a collective effort. So like our consciousness, like us talking about this right now is going to like, you know, trickle into the world. It's going to have waves and people are going to hear it and like people are going to talk about it. And like it just starts like step by step. And if you start to make those small changes, it'll lead to the big changes. And ultimately, like hopefully you'll feel better and like you'll just feel more connected.
Yeah. So I guess more of the story is shop local or buy a Birkin because it's better for the environment. That's what I heard.
Yeah. I mean, they only make like, you have to be on the waiting list for them to make.
Yeah, that's sustainable.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can afford it, why not?
If you can afford
Yeah.
If you can afford it. Believe it or not, many people do take pride in the craft of creating your clothes. There are products that last decades. I mean, don't you like love your grandparents or your parents' clothes?
Oh, totally.
Yeah, clothes that last a long time. Like it just, it's timeless. It's classic. It becomes part of culture. It becomes vintage. Your kids will love it. What's one celebrity who's like, you wish they were your mom and they kept all their clothes for you to wear?
Oh, wow. I think like Posh Beckham was like super cool, you know, like if I'm thinking of like a mom's age, I think she had like always had dope style, or like Kate Moss, and you know.
Yes. You like the more sleek 90s.
Yeah, like sexy but like not revealing too much, not slutty, like bold. You know, it's kind of what I like to go for. And like I like if Bella Hadid was older than me, then I would be like, yeah, Bella, let me get your clothes. She is the coolest style.
Bella Hadid's the best. Oh,
Hands down.
I could talk about Bella. We should just do a whole day dedicated to Bella.
So cool. She's gonna wear my clothes one day.
She will. No, she shops small.
Yeah, she does shop on Depop. That's why I love her. I swear. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, closing thoughts. Like, what are some ways that we could look for like some high quality brands? Like you already said, like the materials that are pretty good signs, like leather, denim. Are there other signs, materials?
Where they're made, like if they're made in LA, like there's a reason why the price point's a lot higher if they're made in LA, because like they're getting hopefully a better wage to make your clothes. So like made in the USA, like made in Mexico, like, you know, like where like leather is prominent, right? So like Italy, Mexico, Colombia, these like, you know, just know like if, for instance, like I went to Scotland, like wool is super prominent in Scotland because it's cold. Yeah. So like if you buy something, just like knowing that like which country sources the best material that you see, like Peru, Pima cotton, like you would hear that a lot in your clothes. So just knowing where people like grow the best like fabrics is also a good way to show like, oh, if I buy this it's made in Peru, then I know it's like good quality. Yeah. And just like knowing certain things about the fabrics.
Noted. No, it's good that we got some tips on like how to invest more time into looking for things that will last us longer, and just invest in more long-term pieces, how to create like a luxury brand or kind of justify those higher price points if you want to put them out there. So yeah, I mean, also like the Detroit creative scene, like come check it out.
Yeah, totally.
Do you want to give any like shout outs to like some circular fashion resources in Detroit?
I can do like Boats and Clothes. I get a lot of my t-shirts from him. Alan, I sell Johns on Instagram. I used to source a lot of vintage denim from him. Fab Scrap, that's not really local, but definitely check it out. I love what they're doing. They just started in 2017 and like huge impact, and like so thankful for
upcoming things to look out for.
I'll be working on another collection right now. I'm going to put more thought into it, and just I'm going to try to tell a story with
Tell the story behind the T-skirt. The T-skirt story. The T story.
Tell it. I know that I actually will be dropping a lookbook soon on the t-shirts, and like kind of just like I simplified it. Before I was like kind of like shooting in all these other places and like having other stylists come in, and I was like wasn't really getting the message I wanted. So now I finally did a lookbook that I'm like super proud of. Going to drop it soon on Instagram, and like you'll just see like the evolution of the T-skirt.
Yeah.
And now it's like there's tee dresses, there's t-shirts that are repurposed, there's
Oh my god, I love it.
wraps and like sarongs, and just like I went wild with the t-shirt concept because everyone has a t-shirt.
Through Tea World.
Yeah, T-World. That's a good one.
That's so cute.
Look for 100% cotton. You'll feel better.
100% cotton, 100% you.
Love it.
Well, thanks for like letting me come play in your studio today, showing me around, getting me a shot of gin before this. This was amazing.
Yeah. Thanks for coming. I was excited to be on my first podcast. I listen to podcasts, so I'm just honored to be invited.
Oh my God, bucket list, check it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, and soon people will check off coming here to Raya Studio when they go to Detroit off their bucket list.
Yay, yes. Hit me up on Instagram, my website, www.shopraya.co.